Hey guys, it's Al. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a dream that I had. It was actually on January the 24th, 2022. All right, I usually write down my dreams as soon as I have them because I keep my phone by my bed. And if I have a dream, then I'll wake up usually and write it down in my journal. But what happens is that sometimes I need time to process a dream because sometimes the dream that I have is so disturbing that I don't write it down right away, or I have to pray and process the dream. Okay, so this dream, even though I had it on January the 24th and I wrote it down, what happened was I wanted to really pray about it and before I shared it, because I didn't want to share things without kind of like getting a sense that I should share it. But then when I looked at the dream again, I was like, this dream is really not for me. It's for me, but it's not for me, and I needed to share it. So I'm going to share it now and we'll go from there. All right, so it's I say, Holy Spirit, please help me to remember my dream. Last night I had a dream that I was down in the city, possibly the District of Columbia. And it was a bright day and the clouds were in the sky. And I saw that there were three dragons that were made of smoke and colorful and powerful in the sky. And these dragons were, just amazing. I'm going to elaborate because I'm going to stop and explain, because my notes are written for me. They're not written for necessarily sharing. They're just written so that I can remember. But what I want to do is I want to elaborate so that you can understand what I saw in my dream a little better. Okay, so the colors of the dragons were red, and they had some parts that were yellow, and it looked like a full dragon. It wasn't like a cloud. It was like a dragon fully detailed, but I knew that they were made of smoke. Okay, and the point of that was that it was just they filled the sky. It was like they were just massive, these three dragons. Okay, and I was looking up at them and I was amazed. I was like, what is going on? Now, prior to me seeing the dragons, I had looked to the left and I was walking up and I just saw the ocean front. It was kind of like I saw like a seashore, and I was like, oh, that's nice, but it's not something I would see in the District of Columbia, because I didn't see something that looked like a beach in the District of Columbia in real life, but I saw something that looked like a beach in this dream. So then I was walking up, and that's when I saw the dragons. Now, other people were looking at the dragons too, and they were amazed. And some people took out guns and they started shooting at the dragons, but they had no effect. And then my eyes was focused in on this one little boy who had a Nerf gun, and he also decided to shoot at the dragons, and he shot at the dragon. And when he shot at the dragon, a little puff of smoke came in the dragon, and the dragon was not affected. And then I was told kind of like why I was showing the boy with the Nerf gun. And the Nerf gun, the boy, he said, this is the might of the United States military. It was like I was made aware that this would be the might of. It's like they would be able to fire, but it would have no effect. And what happened was the stuff that was coming was so overwhelming and they weren't prepared for it. All right, so then I'm walking up, and there was these steps that led to a platform, and there was some police or security officers or something like that up on the top of this platform. One of them was wearing a white uniform, and then the other one was wearing like a dark uniform, like a black or a blue, okay, and a dark blue. And what happened was they were sitting together and they were talking as friends. And then I walked up and I began to talk to them, and it was kind of like I was given something to say to them. And I said to them, I asked them a question. I said, "Are you prepared to work for 6 to 7 months with no pay, and and receive a card?" It was kind of like a debit card that would just allow them to get groceries and basic essentials for their family. And I said an organized invasion was coming. And as they were pondering this, I turned back to look at the sea again, and at that very moment, it's like the whole seascape it was transformed into paper. And then what happened was I was shown ships that were some of them had dragons on the top of them, like dragon heads. And then it was like I was shown the same dragons in the sky were now on ships. And it was like briefly I was shown the color, and then it was turned white, like they were on paper. And it was kind of like a form of Oriental art, but it was very detailed, 3D. And what happens is I was seeing them and other ships coming in also that didn't have dragons. It was just, I was made aware that in the dream that the ships with the dragons were the attack from the same people who attacked by air or invaded by air. The ships from the with the dragons were the exact same people, but there were other groups that were also involved in the invasion, and I wasn't shown who they were, but I have my speculations about that. Okay. And what happened was I was shown the paper, and then it was like I was made aware. It was like the Lord was telling me, or just dropping in the knowledge, and he said, this has been planned. They were planning this the whole time, and and then this is what is going on. And the reason why he showed me the paper was because he was emphasizing the fact that the paper emphasizes a plan, and these were the things that these forces had been planning for a long time, or had made plans to do. All right. Then what happened was I left those guys, and they were still contemplating what I had said, and I was walking on the street, and then what happens is I saw all kinds of traffic. People were leaving the city. Oh yeah, this is what the Spirit is telling me. He said to tell you guys also the importance of the people shooting the guns up at the sky. He says that the private citizens or people trying to, take law into their own hands and trying to be a militia, still it's going to be overwhelming. You're not going to be able to defend against what's coming. So because it's going to be so rapid and so powerful, it's an overwhelming display of power. And it's stuff that we haven't even, I don't think it's stuff that we have even experienced yet. Okay. So anyway, that's what was going on. Then what happens is I was shown traffic. Everyone was trying to leave the city. Everyone was trying to leave the city. And as people were trying to leave, there were accidents. And I saw this, and then it was kind of like I was being shown specific things. And I saw this RV, and it was trying to go up a hill, and it was this massive accident where the RV had been broken in half. And then a person who had all the cans and stuff, like cans, like they were preppers, and they had all these cans stored away, and they felt like the RV was going to be their like safety net. The RV was broken in half, and all these cans kept rolling into the street. It's like soda, cans of food, whatever. And no one was picking them up. No one was picking up the cans. Everyone was so focused on getting out of the city that no one cared about that. And it was like, and then what I believe that was saying with that RV was people who prep, and are preppers who are storing away food. There's going to be something that breaks that cycle. And then you will not be able to do what you think you're doing. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, as I said in another video, this is going to affect everybody, every place. And it's going to be so overwhelming, because what happens is this is the beginning just before Christ returns. And these things are going to happen, and it's going to affect you. You can't isolate yourself from this thing, because it's going to affect you in some way. Even if you think you have a bug out plan, and you got all this stuff going on, and you got contingencies upon contingencies, it's like what's happening is going to be overwhelming. So I'm going to keep, and then the other thing is, you need to be praying and focusing on God, because he's the only one that's going to get you out of this. Because some people will die, but they'll die being saved. Some people are going to have to suffer, but they will be given the resources and the peace of God. But it's not about your own preparedness. It's not by might nor by power, but by the Spirit, saith the Lord of hosts. So the thing is, you got to be focused on the Spirit, believing in Jesus as your safety net. And this is just on this, and I'm going to say one last thing, or two last things. One, not Jesus just your safety net, but your everything. Your everything. And then the other thing I'm going to say is that I'm going to be praying. The Lord's given me some other stuff to share, and I'm going to share it. Some of the stuff that he gives me to share, it's like I feel uncomfortable sharing it. And I'll be real honest with you guys, because what happens is he gives me pieces of things, and it's kind of like I don't have all of the pieces, because the word says we know in part, we understand in part. So that's what it is. He's just giving us pieces, and then the Spirit puts the pieces together for us. All right, guys. All right, and remember, keep Jesus first, last, always. Is that Jesus is the center of everything that you need to do right now. That is what preparation is. This is the preparation for the final crisis.